right now, Matt Korobov against Immanuwel Aleem. This is an interesting clash of what you call age and power, maybe against speed and youth. And Korobov now in Florida by way of Russia. And Aleem, who says he has had an outstanding series of sparring sessions getting ready for this, our opener live on Fox. And to the ring, and our Hall of Fame announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you, and we welcome you to the EagleBank Arena here in Fairfax, Virginia, as Premier Boxing Champions presents a big night of action coming your way. It's Fox PBC Fight Night, and it's brought to you by MGM Resorts and Brooklyn Boxing. Introducing to you our three judges scoring this bout from ringside. We have Brian Costello, Mark Datilio, and Dorothea Perry. All right, fans, here we go. 10 rounds of boxing scheduled in a middleweight special attraction. Introducing to you first, on my right, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white trunks with red trim, fighting out of Richmond, Virginia, by way of his home of East Meadow, New York. He weighed in at 159.5 pounds. His record stands at 18 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw, with 11 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the accomplished middleweight contender known as the Chosen One, introducing Immanuwel Aleem. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white, blue, and red trunks, fighting out of Lantana, Florida, by way of Orotukan, Russia. His weight, 160.75 pounds. With a record of 28 wins and 2 losses, he has 14 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the former Olympian and the distinguished middleweight world contender, introducing Matt Korobov. And a referee in charge now to give instructions, introducing Michelle Myers.
Right, this is good. This is good. Gentlemen, you received instructions in the locker room already. I expect you to obey my commands and protect yourselves at all times. Touch them up.
You heard the referee instructions, our tail of the tape. By the way, Aleem, with that nickname, the Chosen One, I thought that was taken, but I'm not going to argue, has never fought past the 8th round, and this in the middleweight division, 160 pounds, scheduled for 10. Korobov, 1-2 against champions. He beat Jose Uzcategui, but his losses to Andy Lee, who's undefeated, and Jermall Charlo. And there is Matt Korobov, still steaming about the result in that Charlo bout. If you watch that, getting ready to take on the younger Aleem. Closed captioning available for tonight's telecast. If you want to hear this broadcast in Spanish, click over to the simulcast on Fox Deportes. Live on Fox from Fairfax, Virginia, with Lennox Lewis, Joe Goosen, Chris Myers. Nice to have you watching with us. The first of a series of fights before our main event.
Well, you see right off the bat, Aleem has given up a little ground here, moving, where Korobov's holding his ground. And, you know, I've watched film on Aleem, and he normally presses guys. So let's see if he turns the tide here and starts coming forward, which he's starting to do right now.
In fact, I was going to say, Lennox, that Korobov told us, he said Aleem is quick, he wants to brawl. That's what Korobov expected.
Yeah, be careful what you wish for, because Korobov is a great counterpuncher. He's got tons of experience, and he dealt quite well with Jermall Charlo up until the very end when he gave away the last couple rounds.
And in that fight, he really surprised me. I didn't really know he had that in him. And he threw some great punching, and that right hooks that came across so strong in that fight.
Left-handed power puncher. A tough loss to Jermall Charlo back in December in Brooklyn. It was a unanimous decision.
Oh.
And a sting early.
Korobov, when he throws punches, he usually lands them. He doesn't waste too many punches at all.
And he seems, Joe, to be able to take a punch pretty well.
He does. I mean, he took Charlo's punches all the way through the fight up until that 12th round when he got buckled really well. which kind of sealed, I thought, the fight for Charlo the last couple rounds.
And what do you make of the 11-year age difference? Because Aleem's corner seemed to boast about that coming into this one.
Well, you know, Korobov got a lot of experience, so I don't think the age difference matters. I think the age difference matters more for Korobov because he's got all the experience, so he's seen a lot of boxing in his lifetime.
But, you know, there is a question about Korobov's conditioning in the later rounds, where he kind of gave up the later rounds to Charlo. But they said they worked hard here and did a lot more sparring than normal.
And that Charlo fight gave him a lot of confidence, especially when he came back into training, knowing how, you know, where he is in the world of boxing.
Well, I'm curious to see this fight unfold because Aleem is a real sturdy fighter. He's been stopped once, but that isn't typical for his fights. He's usually willing, ready, and able to fight in the pocket or on the outside, but normally he likes to pressure you and make a fight happen.
Inside of 20 seconds in the opening round. And throughout we'll show you the punches landed, punches thrown, body punches, effective stats to help you be in tune with how you might be scoring this watching at home. Aleem Korobov live on Fox. Round two, and Lennox Lewis in round one.
Oh, yeah. Korobov threw a great body punch, but it hit him right in the chest. And that's what you... And here's another one. Good body punch. Very accurate puncher. Korobov doesn't really waste a lot of punches. He figures the guy out, and then he throws the punches. He doesn't throw them in volume, but he's accurate.
Now, this kind of a power puncher at Korobov and the body snatcher in Aleem. It's funny, Aleem is a guy who's landed, most of his punches landed are body shots.
Well, Aleem is yet to get going right now. He's still trying to figure out Korobov. You got to remember, Korobov's a left-hander. It's a complete mirror opposite image of a right-hander. And it takes you a few rounds to figure it out, especially a cagey guy like Korobov.
Well, and Joe, the other thing is this is his first fight in nearly a year. He was last in the ring in May of last year when he stopped Juan Dian Hell, who didn't come out for the 7th round. That fight was in Oxon Hill, Maryland.
Yeah, I asked him what was he doing in that time. He's spending a lot of time in the gym, and you know, that's the main thing, long as he's in the gym. So there may be a little bit of ring rust, but not that much.
You know, sometimes the best place to be when you're a right-hander against a southpaw is in close, because it kind of nullifies the tricky stuff that a southpaw can do to you from a distance.
You know, his trainer, George Peterson, known for his success with welterweight champ Paul Williams, a lefty, who was at his peak about a decade or so ago, was here, we are told, in the building. They said that they thought that would help Aleem deal with the left-hander.
To get inside close. Of course. And right now he's not really doing that. This the second round, though. But, you know, you can't waste too many rounds here. Right now, the one who's landing the substantial punches is Korobov. He landed a right hook earlier, a few body shots already. And Aleem is yet to show me the real aggressive style that I'm used to seeing from him. And I hope it unfolds here so we get a real dogfight going.
Korobov is coming in with some good power left hand. And he's not aiming for the head, he's aiming for the body, which is critical at this point, which is the early rounds.
Well, if you get a guy thinking downstairs a lot, that kind of, you know, lowers the hands a little bit, presumably, to open up the head for Korobov.
can tell Korobov's kind of waiting for Aleem to come in so he can land that big left.
You know, with the pedigree that Korobov's got, he's got every amateur world title there you can think of. You know, he's got a lot of experience, so he knows how to go. Look at him going straight to that belly again with that straight left hand. Look, it took Charlo a while to figure out Korobov.
And let's check in with Heidi Androl.
Thank you very much, Chris. Well, Immanuwel Aleem's mom, Deirdre, went from living in a boxer's house to creating a boxing gym in her own home. She actually used to live on Long Island with Howard Davis Jr.'s family as a little girl, stayed there with them frequently. But then she said when her son Moshe, Immanuel's brother, actually got into boxing, they took all of the furniture out of the living room. They put the speed bag next to the bathroom. One day they were driving by an empty building. They had their mortgage money in their pocket. They thought that would be the perfect place for a gym. They got it on the spot. They were a little late on their mortgage that month, but the gym's been in existence since 2007, so all worked out well. She said she did it not only for her kids, but to keep the kids in the neighborhood off the street. An incredible mom. We want to wish her and all of the amazing moms watching, including mine, a very happy Mother's Day.
All right, and a happy Mother's Day to you, Heidi. I know the kids are at home, wondering if Mom's going to get home in time tomorrow, so good luck with that. Thomas Jefferson High School in Richmond is where Immanuwel Aleem is from, and that Ninth Dimension Sports Circle in South Richmond that they established in 2007 has done a lot for young amateur fighters who have dreams like Immanuwel Aleem. Against the ropes is Korobov.
Well, you can see now, George Patterson, the trainer for Aleem, you could tell was giving him the what for in the corner, and obviously he came out both barrels blasted this round. And he's trying to win this round here because I think Korobov's won the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, he needs to step it up a little bit. But he has to be careful coming in the way he's running in. Korobov has that power.
He does, but you know, you got to take chances. Otherwise, you're going to be playing chess with a guy who plays it really well in Korobov.
Yep, and George Peterson did talk about Aleem learning from that loss, his only loss on his record, to focus more.
Ooh.
Shot to the body by Korobov.
I like what Aleem's doing right now, but he's got to get his hands back quick when he punches so he doesn't get countered. But he's got to keep that pressure on to at least get himself back into this fight.
Well, what he needs to do, he needs to connect with his punches on Korobov, but he's not connecting, and Korobov is coming back and counter-punching him.
Yep. He is one punch at a time, but the bottom line is it's also good to show the judges that you're the aggressor, because that counts for something in this game. Obviously, you've got to be effective. You're right.
And there's the percentages landed heavily in favor for Korobov at nearly 2-1. And that is from just this round, but across the board, nearly 2-1 punches landed. Korobov, the advantage.
So you just got a good. Aleem got countered by Korobov, but then he landed his own counter with a good left hook off of the left uppercut from Korobov.
Yeah, that was a good left
paid
hook.
off for him. That, you know, it's a little dangerous, but you got to do it. You got to take chances.
And Peterson said that Korobov could be quite confusing because, you know, he doesn't fight in any real pattern. At least that was their view coming in. And Korobov against the ropes. Looks like he got a right in on Aleem. Oh, there's a couple of punches, an uppercut. Sweat flying.
Yeah, they're both chopping at each other on the inside. They're, you know, you can hold one arm or be held and use the other hand. But right there, that was a nice move by Korobov off the ropes. But Aleem was just warned about 30 seconds ago by the referee for a low blow. I thought it was borderline.
Yeah, it was borderline. It wasn't that low. But Korobov is holding on to Aleem's right hand for some reason. Doesn't need to. He should really get his hands going.
Round 3 complete.
after that jab, you stay in there too long. Take a deep breath. Okay? Let it go. Okay? Yeah.
In the corner of Immanuwel Aleem as we get ready for the fourth round. Lennox.
Oh, yeah. This is where Aleem comes in. He's got to be careful when he rushes in like that because he may get caught. So he can't rush in recklessly.
Well, he said, I have a lot I can use on Korobov, and I'm going to test everything. I want to put pressure on him. Let's go over to Heidi Androl and Matt Korobov's corner with trainer Charles Mooney.
Thank you very much, Chris. Charles, what did you tell Matt coming into this round?
I need him to keep him outside and keep his jab in his face. You know, make music with his jab. That's a little key word.
Down.
Thanks so much, guys. Back over to you.
Yeah, that was a situation he got caught out of pocket.
Now the referee, Michelle Myers, quickly pointing out.
Yeah, well, what happened there was off balance, and the punch, the right hook, ended up hitting him in the back
of the head.
And it was more, the referee ruled it as a push
than a knockdown.
More so than getting cracked. But to me, if you get hit with a punch, wherever it is, it's a knockdown.
And here it is.
And that's still a knockdown, and the way visually, however, the judges will decide.
Well, what happened was Aleem missed a punch.
He was off
and left himself open.
Yeah.
Korobov landed to the body, and they got him right in as well.
But I also think it was a
inadvertent kind of.
Yeah, and the referee may have made the right decision there. Even though
I agree with that decision there.
Yeah,
good decision.
Now you see, ooh, boy, that was some good action right there on the inside. You'll notice when they get in close, Korobov is constantly pushing down on the back of the neck of Aleem, taking him out of the flow of punches on the inside there. It's a good trick.
Also, he's winding up with a punch. He's winding up with his left hand, and it's coming across very powerful right now. So Aleem has to be careful.
Let's get Larry Hazard, who is here as our unofficial scorer, and see how Larry has this scored so far. Larry?
So far, Chris, I got this fight 30-27. Korobov is taking him to school. Look, it's rough enough fighting southpaw, but the kid is moving the wrong way. Korobov is setting traps for him, and he's hitting with those powerful left hands. There it is again.
Thank you, Larry. He just landed another. So Korobov in control of this fight. Is that how you two see it?
Yeah, at the moment, Korobov is doing well, but Aleem's coming back. He's doing the right thing. He needs to definitely get closer to Korobov to throw some punches and to be successful with it.
Yeah, Korobov's looking to tie up Aleem on the inside, which means that he'd rather not deal with him on the inside if he doesn't have to. He's looking for stuff like that.
Watch the foot, the leg underneath as Korobov is chasing Aleem into the corner there.
Aleem's got to be able to get his hands free on the inside, not get tied up by Korobov to do some damage in close.
Another left from Korobov.
See, this is where Aleem needs to keep up the pace. Once he has him there.
Aleem having to play catch up.
But you pulling away from him. This guy ain't got nothing for you, man. And you got to stay.
Jared Hurd, our main event. He's undefeated. He's got a title on the line, going for his fourth consecutive title defense. And fighting in his own backyard and going up against Julian Williams, who's getting a second shot at completing his lifelong goal of becoming a world champion. Main event coming up, and if you want to jump in on Twitter, we appreciate your thoughts on who you think is going to win. Hurd is the favorite, right now running at about 80% at PBC on Fox. We're live here in Fairfax, Virginia. There's Korobov, who has set the tone, scheduled for 10.
Well, he set the tone all right, except Aleem is trying to change the tune.
Check in with Heidi, standing by with Immanuwel Aleem's trainer, George Peterson.
Thank you so much, Chris. George, I heard this man next to you say, this is the start of the 5th round. This is when we get things going. What did you tell Immanuwel?
Keep running right there.
Well, what I mentioned to him is that he still hasn't gotten his rhythm yet. And what he needs to do is he needs to force it now. He needs to step to it more. And the things that he knows that where this guy's weakness is, he needs to work on it. It's time to work on that now.
What weaknesses are you referring to?
Say that again?
What are the weaknesses you're referring to?
Well, the weakness is his opponent and giving him all the respect in the world, but he's not taking advantage of it. So what he needs to do now is take advantage of it. And he's making a lot of mistakes. But the thing about it, he's not taking advantage because he's not in position to take advantage. And you know he got to be in position.
Thank you so much, guys. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Joe, as a trainer, how do you tell your guy to take advantage?
Well, I think what George was saying was to get in position, you got to be close to him and take advantage of it. But what's happening is Korobov, you'll see it every time. He's moving Aleem's arms or he's wrapping him up and tying him up, and he's unable to get his punches going on the inside.
And the referee should actually warn Korobov a little bit for holding Aleem's arms.
Yeah, he's kind of pushing him around a little. Using his size. And Joe, when we sat with these two, Peterson said that one of the strengths of Aleem, his fighter, is that he listens to his corner. And you said to me that good fighters listen to their corner. They have their own mind made up and they have to adjust, but they pay attention.
You could tell he listened to George a couple of rounds ago when he sent him out of the chute in the 3rd round to make up some lost ground. But Korobov is just that tricky. He's not just going to allow you to bum rush him and just hit him with shots on the inside. That was a good left hand right hook by Korobov. But Aleem is trying, and hopefully he's going to break through the efforts of Korobov soon.
And Korobov doesn't like to be on the ropes. Aleem needs to put him up against the ropes and then rattle off a whole bunch of combinations on him.
Aleem has closed the gap a little bit on punches landed. Halfway through this fight. Tell you, there does not look like an 11-year difference in terms of age. And that's something, I'm not seeing the speed advantage that Aleem thought he was going to show against Korobov, who is...
There may be a conditioning advantage.
Korobov at age 36 through round 5. He's in control.
You step to this guy. When you step to this guy, you let those numbers go. But you got to step properly. You got to step with some snap. You got what I'm saying? Snap to the body, bring your right hand, pull your hook, and step on around. Don't get in there and want to wrestle with this guy. Look, man, this guy's tired. But keep some pressure. Keep some...
In attendance, the heavyweight contender, Jerry Cooney. Watching here in Virginia, remember, late 70s, all the way through the 80s. Enjoying the fight. Looks good, Jerry Cooney. Took a lot of shots. He's held up well, Lennox, like you.
Yeah, he has. He's a trainer now. He's imparting what he knows to younger fellas.
One of the great left hands of all time, let me tell you. You have one of the great right hands of all time. He had one of the great left hooks of all time.
Yeah, he was talking. I talked to him before the bout, talking about Korobov and his left-handed punch. The only advantage here, I mean, the body shots are equal. I mean, in every statistical punches thrown, punches landed. If the punches thrown, Aleem's thrown a little bit more, but Korobov clearly has landed more.
Yeah, Korobov's smart. He's holding on. He doesn't want Aleem to get any free shots. What Korobov punching, he's getting his shots in, then holding Aleem, so he doesn't get any shots.
Well, that's exactly right. He's been doing it all night. He's just He ties him up for a minute. When I say a minute, just seconds. And then he lands a little punch. He ties him up again. He turns him. He maneuvers him. He's experienced, and he's showing it right now.
You saw the total punches, the punches landed versus throwing. Aleem expending a lot of energy, but not getting the results. The Korobov. Oh, a nice exchange.
Yeah.
And he is cut, and he looks hurt. That left hand.
That's what I said.
Oh, another shot.
Korobov can hurt.
Another left from Korobov. He goes with a right.
Korobov.
That's it. He can finish this.
He caught Aleem with a left uppercut, left hand to start this whole ball rolling.
And a big miss there.
Boy, it hurt him.
And Aleem is still hurt.
He is stunned. The right side of his head. That shot landed by Korobov.
Yeah, that's
another left.
That's what I said about Korobov. Korobov can hit you with any hand and hurt you, so you have to be careful when you're coming in.
Yeah, his right.
Because he's basically setting you up.
Don't punch. Don't punch. Get back.
Tape unraveling on the right glove of Aleem, and that right eye, that right side of his head.
Aleem still looks a bit out of it. As you can see, he's backing up. He's not making any offensive moves. He's looking.
And Korobov just senses it. He's just trying to power his way through Aleem and end this thing. And right eye marked up on Aleem.
Korobov may be a little tired as well because he's not going forward either. They're both looking at each other, trying to get a breath of fresh air.
I mean, Aleem was at a height and reach advantage coming in.
You know, the funny thing about it is Korobov hasn't had a knockout in his last 5 fights. So, I mean, it's pretty amazing when you see how much power he delivers his punches with, but Aleem stood up to it, and he's coming back right now as best as he can.
Korobov with a 28-2 record, 14 knockouts. Aleem is 18-1-1. He's only been knocked out once. Let's listen in to the corner of Immanuwel Aleem.
Fix that tape on his glove.
What round is this? 7 rounds.
Sorry, not able to hear clearly, but look at first time that he was staggered by Korobov. That left.
On his glove, okay?
Yeah. And here,
well, here you
another
go.
Left.
That was probably the follow-up left hand. The one that started it was a left uppercut and then a left hand. Here's the chopping right hook.
Wow.
Now that wasn't what really hurt him. It's that left hand that was really doing the damage.
Just Korobov was like a machine there, Joe. He didn't stop when he sensed Aleem was weakening.
He was very accurate. But this guy, like I say, he's put himself in a position in the pros as the amateurs because he is this good. And you notice Aleem got on the inside with him right where he wanted to be, and that's where he got eaten up on that little segment.
Aleem's trainer told him the right thing. When he gets into the clinch, that's when he's got to work. He can't afford Korobov to lock him up.
Well, they were working there. That's when he got hurt. But that's the point I was making. Aleem was working there, and he just got clipped with an uppercut left hand. I mean, he wasn't tied up at that point. You know, Korobov hit him because his hands were free. So he just got beat to the punch.
Man, Larry Hazard, our unofficial score. I don't know that you can give any of these rounds to Aleem. And let's see what Larry has scored since the last time he told us Korobov setting the pace in this fight. Larry?
Hey, Chris, Korobov is pitching a shutout. He's blasting this kid out of here. Listen, I don't know what they're telling this Aleem in this corner, but he is definitely a southpaw's dream. He's walking straight in. Okay, he's giving him no movement, and Korobov is setting a trap for that straight right hand, which is eventually going to take this kid out of here. But right now, I have him ahead 60-53.
Well, I say it's not just the right hand you have to worry about. I mean, left hand, you have to worry about his right hand. Korobov's strong with both hands.
Larry, right on cue when we showed a baseball promo for Fox. You're watching Premier Boxing Champions live on Fox about pitching a shutout and giving every round the way he sees it. To Matt Korobov from Russia, who now lives in South Florida. His wife expecting their second child any day now. He's got a lot on his mind. Right now, though, it's all about finishing off Aleem.
There's that straight left hand that Larry was talking about that really he's been throwing and landing all night long, including the counter left uppercut.
That right looked good from Aleem, but it didn't seem to bother Korobov.
No, he didn't get, it wasn't a full punch. He didn't get the full impact on it. But Aleem has to be careful because he's not throwing enough punches. He needs to throw a lot more punches because Korobov is really looking to counter him.
And his mom, Heidi, talked about how Omar and Deidre created a place for amateurs to learn the discipline of the sport. You can hear her kind of, there you go, get him off you, she says to her son.
Well, she's noticing what we're noticing. He's getting tied up, you know.
She's got a good seat like you, Joe.
Right, and she knows he's got to get his hands free. But I'll tell you, Aleem's running out of time right now.
Yeah. And Korobov knows how to waste time.
Exactly. But when he's wasting time, he's getting something accomplished by landing solid, accurate punches.
Finishing up round 7, the face marked up a little bit more on Aleem. Trying to use some of that speed. You know, Korobov, that WBC World Middleweight title that he had a chance against Charlo. We talked about Jamal Charlo back in Brooklyn here in December, a late replacement. He only had a week to get ready for this. Willie Monroe was scratched. Korobov held his own against Charlo. In fact, many thought Korobov actually won the early rounds in this fight, but it ended up that Jamal Charlo wins the fight by unanimous decision. And afterwards, Korobov said it really makes you lose faith in judges. He was concerned that somebody didn't have him even winning 4 rounds.
I felt like that when they gave me a draw with Holyfield. I was like, yo, could you go check this?
Don't leave any doubt. That was his view coming into this fight.
Okay, but I told him, are the judges, them the judges.
1, 2, dig the body. Dig the body. And step away. Second down, gentlemen. Fight her up.
Lennox Lewis, Joe Goose, and Heidi Androl. I'm Chris Myers. Nice to have you watching with us. An entertaining fight. Lopsided in terms of scoring, but still out there for Immanuwel Aleem to rally against Matt Korobov.
You know, when Aleem goes to the body with that right hand, he leaves himself so open for that left hook.
You mean the right hook?
Right hook.
Well, he does, but he's been avoiding it for most of the night. Now they both locked up right there. But Aleem's got to do something. He's got to really land something solid and brawl just like this. He's got to do something.
Good exchange. Sweat flying.
The science goes out the window at this point because we're in the 8th round right now.
And Joe, you made a point. The judges here, if you've set the tone early and nothing, Aleem doesn't change the feel of this, they're just going to continue to lean in the area of Korobov. And let's check in with Korobov's corner with Heidi.
Thank you very much, Chris. Well, I just spoke to Charles Mooney, and he told me the message was simple. You've got a baby on the way. Think about that baby. You're making this close. Act like you want it, guys.
All right, thank you. And Aleem hasn't reached the 8th round in his last 3 fights. If he survives this, it'll be the first time he's fought past the 8th round. At the very least, he's a survivor.
Yeah, this is where Korobov has to be very, good left hook.
Well, Aleem was warned about hitting behind the head, but right when he was being warned, Korobov hit him on the break. So
you still feel it, right? Whether you're supposed to or not.
But Korobov is so slick. I mean, I love Aleem. He's such a great guy. And
there's that right hook again.
That's right. But Korobov did something earlier. He put his head underneath the chin of Aleem and then threw a couple of punches. I mean, he's got every trick in the book on the inside, like that.
You said Korobov doesn't like being on the ropes, Lennox. That's where he is.
Yeah.
And then he gets out of it. Aleem didn't take advantage. That's early what his trainer said. Oh, off balance. Korobov. And Aleem missed a chance there. He could have caught Korobov. And he's got him in the ropes again.
Yeah, Korobov's have to watch his composure right now. He's kind of falling apart a little bit. That's because he's a little weary, he's a little tired.
Oh, that uppercut landed by Korobov.
What I was talking about earlier.
Like I said, he's not wasting no punches. The punches that he throws, he thinks about. and he makes sure that he's accurate with them.
He's been very efficient, and to your point, Lennox, Aleem has thrown more punches, but he's landed so many fewer than Korobov.
Oh,
that landed as well by Korobov.
Left uppercut, right
catching Aleem coming in. To come in and not be so reckless.
You know, Aleem talked big about a lefty. His experience, he stopped Immanuwel Sanchez and outpointed LaShawn Sims, but they're not the level of Korobov. And he's got him on the ropes. But he can't do enough damage. Body shot at the bell.
All right, Aleem's a little happier with himself on that one.
Yeah, I think there was, as late as we are, a little more effective.
And here you see a Korobov uppercut, and he's known for that. And here's another one. This is taking advantage of when you're inside and you see the opening. You take it, even if you're tired.
This guy's tired. And you touch that body and come up top with that Brandon and pull that hook. You got me? You got to do it, Manny. Listen to me. I ain't gonna tell you nothing wrong. You come up there with that hook. You with that Brandon, pull that hook. And man, you get him out of there. This guy's tired. But keep your head moving. One more. Okay? Keep rolling your shoulder. Okay?
That's his brother, Moshe, who was a great influence in Immanuwel. He actually fought on a PBC, a 4-1-2 record. He told me he learned, believe it or not, to speak Russian by just on the computer, on the internet, on his own. The irony is his brother fighting the Russian opponent in Korobov. And here we go. And remember, George Peterson.
Yeah, here we go. Just towards the end of the round here. There's that little right hand that actually opened up a small cut on Korobov's eye. So he's getting to him a little bit.
And that last round, Joe, Larry Hazard gave that round to Aleem.
Yeah.
And remember, his trainer said if we get this older guy in the later rounds, then we can almost do what we want with him.
But the later rounds are two rounds. And you know, it's not a 15 or a 12-round fight. It's a 10-round fight. He's got 2 rounds up, this one and one more. He's going to have to do something drastic, if not knock him out to win.
Yeah, I agree with that. He needs to do something.
Yeah, he just came on a little late. I thought that their strategy, in fact, they told us Aleem will know when it's time to go for it.
Well, he would have loved to have come on earlier. It's just that Korobov wouldn't allow it.
Yes, there you go. Great defense.
Well, Aleem was successful with that right hand.
There's an answer.
Yeah, he needs to throw more right hands if he wants to be more successful.
Well, actually, his corner was calling for the double hook, the body and the left hook. He said, you get that left hook working, you're going to get him out of here. I don't know if that's going to happen, but...
And still here, Immanuel's mom hollering. She knows a thing or two of what's going on in the ring. That landed.
That landed, but that was like that was the last one of about 6 punches that landed in that series right there. And Aleem just can't stand there and walk in there. He's got to move his head a little bit more and try to punch with him or counter him.
Not even that. When Korobov stops punching, that's when he needs to punch.
Oh, boy, that wicked left uppercut to the belly Korobov throwing.
Aleem now, he's definitely showing he's tired.
Yeah, but you look what he does. He leans on you, maneuvers you, and he hits you. It's all got a plan behind it. It looks like he's tired, but look, right there, he just made a dip, that right uppercut again. He'll come out of there with that. There's the hook. I mean, he's really a sneaky fighter. And this is where, look, Aleem wants him right here. If he's going to land a big shot, this is where it's going to happen. But he's got to let his hands go hard.
He's more throwing punches in volume, but there's no power punches there. He needs to throw some power punches.
Let's stop it on the tape coming off Aleem's glove.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Michelle Myers taking care of that tape. We mentioned it earlier. And they'll hold the time, 37 seconds of this 9th round with 1 round to go. And Korobov unofficially our score.
Oh, good right hand and left hook by Aleem.
And Aleem, after taking the last round, is making his move.
There's that left hook, yep.
Well, he's listening to his coach. In the meantime, Korobov did land a couple of solid body shots in that exchange, even though Aleem landed the harder.
And that's what's been impressive, Joe. Every time Aleem's done something, Korobov has been able to respond.
Yeah. He's a counter puncher deluxe. Look at that right there.
1 to go. Blood on the face of Aleem. In the corner of Matt Korobov.
Cannot let this man back in the game. You got good combinations, but you're not putting the combinations together. This is the 10th round. You got to do some magical stuff here, once you let him get too close. All right? Can you give it to me, man? I need the combinations, man. I need the combinations. Let your shoulders roll. You slipped over there.
He wants the combination.
Yeah, here's a combination by Aleem. This is what he needs to do. Give himself room and throw these combinations.
That was a nice little left hook right off the chin. Right there is a beautiful little shot.
That's his sister looking on. You know, Lennox, you're talking about Korobov's accuracy. He's landed 45% of his power punches compared to Aleem, who's landed less than 25%.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. I mean, this is
the final round.
Yeah, it's his last chance.
And Korobov comes out strong.
This is where your corner says, give me 3 minutes. You can do 3 minutes, can't you?
And you heard Mooney, the trainer at Korobov, saying magical stuff here. It's his fight to hold on to, and right now he's holding on to Aleem.
Stop.
The referee, Michelle Meyer, said enough. Let's fight. Warning.
Well, yeah, and I think the referee's done a really good job, to tell you the truth, this fight. She stayed out of it pretty much for the whole fight and called the infractions when she saw them. So I think she's done a great job and not interrupted the flow. It's been a good fight.
Korobov working the ball.
Oh, good right hand left hook.
Yes, Aleem got to Korobov. Now Korobov responding.
This is where Aleem needs to pick it up. Answer back. Korobov threw 4 punches. He needs to throw 5 more.
And now Korobov is landing. Body shots.
Good. He's got a minute and a half, basically, a minute 45 left to do it. Look, I mean, look at Korobov's legs kind of were wobbly on him right there.
Yeah, there were a few occasions, Joe, when Aleem missed a chance.
See, now Korobov's really holding, not maneuvering on the inside. He's actually holding to take a breather.
Do you think the ref should warn him?
Oh, good right hand.
Shot by Aleem.
Another right hand. Korobov took him well.
Korobov is like a rock standing. He's only been knocked down once in his previous 30 fights. But blood coming out of the mouth of Matt Korobov. That last shot, he felt it.
Korobov is a little tired. Showing it.
Boy, I'll tell you, this is the type of fight Aleem wishes he had probably had a couple more rounds to work.
Or a different strategy early.
I don't know if there was another strategy for him. You know, he's the type of fighter he is.
Well, remember, Korobov said, I may not get it, but I want a rematch with Jamal Charlo. Another title shot. He thought he won that fight, and he didn't want to leave this one a chance.
2 good right hands by Aleem.
Really good right hand. Oh, another great right hand.
But still standing is Korobov. And even if Aleem takes these last 2 rounds, is it going to be enough to turn the tide?
He's got 30 seconds left.
30 seconds.
He doesn't want to crowd himself too much.
Korobov leading. Scheduled for 10. We're going the distance at this point.
Yeah, this is where the older fighter uses his experience. He can survive for 15 more seconds.
And Aleem bringing it on when he had to. But Korobov is still standing. 10. We've gone 10. Is it too late? Too little? Too late for Immanuwel Aleem. Mom and Dad saying we had to turn it up, turn on the heat, and Aleem did.
I bet Aleem would give up his purse to have 2 more rounds.
This too bad this isn't a title fight. We'd go 12 or old school 15.
Yeah.
Well, Aleem wanted to go more. I know that for sure. You know, when your wife is having a baby, you're having a baby as well. So
you've gone through that, Lennox. You're an amazing champion. I don't know how you've done that. Happy Mother's Day to all you moms.
Happy Mother's Day, Mommy.
Unbelievable. They gave us every inch of this fight. You got it from Korobov and Aleem. Korobov set the tone early. Aleem came on strong late. The full 10, we'll find out who wound up on top. You're watching Premier Boxing Champions Live. A big night ahead. Our main event still ahead, but this wasn't bad to get us going. We're live on Fox at Fairfax, Virginia. Our main event is coming up in just a moment. Jared Hurd, the big Redskin fan, a special surprise with his introduction coming up. He's tall for his division, looking to impose that 3-inch height, that 4-inch reach advantage on the challenger. Williams, who's won 4 straight since his failed title challenge when he lost to Jamal Charlo. That's the only defeat for Williams, a feisty challenger for Hurd. Inside EagleBank Arena on the campus of George Mason University with Lennox Lewis, Joe Goosen, Chris Myers. A recap of Korobov and Aleem just moments ago.
All right, here we go. This is probably the early part of the fight where Korobov had the distance there, worked the body well, countered well.
And it was Korobov setting the tone early right from the start.
Yeah, especially in the 6th round. Korobov was throwing some heavy shots, especially to the body and to the head, and being more aggressive. This is where he used up most of his energy in the early rounds.
Well, especially this round, and give credit to Aleem for hanging in there. Here we go now. 8th round on. Aleem really came on well. And he's landed the solid right hand.
And in fact, yeah, Joe, in the last 3 rounds, unofficially, our scorer Larry Hazard had Aleem winning the last 3.
Aleem was really taking advantage of Korobov being tired and throwing some combinations and nice right hand to the head.
Well, of course, that was the left hook that George Patterson was asking for, and it's really what hurt Korobov in the last couple rounds. That left hook. Right there again.
Yeah, this is the last round where Aleem really picked it up and felt that he was winning the fight.
Well, he threw almost 200 more punches than Korobov, but Korobov landed more punches, and that may have gotten him the win. Jimmy Lennon.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of action, we have a majority decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Brian Costello, sees the bout 95-95, even a draw. Overruled by judges Mark DeTilio, he scores the bout 96-95. Dorothea Perry scores at 97-93 in favor of the winner, Matt Korobov.
Korobov with his 29th victory. The full 10 rounds and a majority decision. It was interesting, even a draw in there. Did either one of you see that? A draw by one of the judges?
I don't know what the judges look for. I didn't see no draw. If I was being a judge, I wouldn't call it a draw.
Heidi Androl is in the ring.
Thank you very much, Chris. Matt, well, he most definitely did not make this one easy for you. How much was your experience key in those later rounds?
There's a good experience, for the future. It's a lot of things to work on, and I will. He's a good challenger. Give me a good fight. I appreciate it, and just looking forward to be better, in the next fight. So that was a great fight. I think the fans will love it. So I tried to do my best. It wasn't best me enough. But I did good rounds earlier, so.
And you get the win here tonight. And a very special happy Mother's Day. I know you've got a baby on the way to your wife. All right. Congratulations on a great win. Let's go over to his opponent, Immanuwel. I bet you wish you had a few more rounds in this one.
Yeah. That was real fun. I wish I would have. I think I was getting closer and closer to the stoppage. So I seen his gas was going down. See me picking it up. He wasn't throwing as much shots. Threw a few clean ones, but I thought I was hustling a little bit more, threw a little more bigger shots. But it's cool. I hope we get it back.
It was an impressive show. Thank you so much. All right, guys, we'll send it back to you ringside.
Before we get to our next fight, you're watching Premier Boxing Champions Live, and I just spoke with one of the officials here who came over to tell me that they had a local foul up by the scorekeeper here at George Mason University. And the fight we showed you moments ago is now, when they added them up properly, it's a majority draw with Matt Korobov and Immanuwel Aleem. That is the ruling. Officials, that's different than what was announced in the ring because of the scoring mix-up. And Joe Gusa, trainer, Lennox Lewis, fighter, did you see it that way?
Whether I saw it that way or not, the bottom line is there's nobody happier in this building than Immanuwel Aleem.
That's a break.
Sadder than Korobov right now. It's very unusual for this to happen.
Highly unusual.
I would be furious for a minute until reality struck, and then you have to live with what happened. The correct scores are the correct scores.
Yeah, I agree with that. Korobov looked good in the starting rounds, and Aleem looked good in the end round. So take it.
Well, come on, let's not kid anybody. That was Korobov's fight to win. However they want to score it, but the correction is majority draw. And our rules analyst, and also he's seen a lot of fights over the years unofficially scoring this, and you clearly had Korobov winning. But Larry, can you explain that? And I'm glad that they clarified. We all make mistakes, but this is one you would hope you'd catch before you make an announcement.
Yeah, Chris, it's very unusual, but I can't say that it has never happened. I've never experienced it. Certainly, as the unofficial score, I had Korobov winning the fight. But as Joe said, the correct score is the correct score. So nobody could be happier now than Aleem in his camp.
Well, Larry, is there any recourse if you're Korobov in his corner? Or is it tough? Just you got to live with it?
Well, he's got to have to live with this. The score is the score. There was a mathematical error somewhere on the part of the official scorekeeper.